Time for Media Watch. I'm pleased to say James Cretan's here, warmed up and ready to go. Nadine Morano has been saying, and she is a French MP, or deputy as they call it, she's been saying that people shouldn't be allowed to tweet or use Twitter anonymously. What's her problem?
That's right. Well, the thing is, she's a French politician, as you were saying, and she's
That's
known.
not her problem. What she complaining
Well, it might
about?
partly be her problem, but anyway, she is known for gaffes online and on Twitter, right? And she says, "Look, I take responsibility for what I say online, but I'm often the subject of insults." I'm paraphrasing here now. This is kind of I'm often the subject of insults online, and people have anonymous accounts from which they send insults and critiques and all the rest of it. So here she's saying this tweet says, "On Twitter, there are lots of cowards, lash, who insult hidden behind their anonymous profiles. I think it should be banned."
So what
Now,
she's saying is that people should have the courage of their convictions and stand up and be counted, which is I think that's actually quite good.
That's right. And, you know, she's not the only person to have made that point. She's made it repeatedly, actually. And another French politician, this guy, a senator, Jean-Louis Masson, back in 2010, he said the same thing about blogs and bloggers. He said, if you're going to blog certain thoughts or whatever, or, you know, critiques of a politician, sign it, put your name to it. In fact, there should be a law to that effect. And he actually put a law before the Parliament. It didn't end up happening. So a lot of people have come out with
What neither Madame Morano and Monsieur Masson have actually hit upon the point is that some people in some regimes need to hide behind anonymity in order to make their point. If they live in, say, Bahrain or Libya,
That's right, and that's
during
right. And the
Gaddafi,
thing
or
is,
Egypt under Mubarak, you know.
His whole argument back in 2010, Jean-Louis Masson, was right of reply. But you can actually often reply to a tweet that is anonymously written in the comment
Anybody
section
can
just
reply
below,
to a tweet.
or on a blog. Often blogs give that facility to comment. So I'm not sure really if his point there is fully pertinent.
Two politicians with an axe to grind. That's what it is, isn't it?
That's it. Now,
They should think
meanwhile,
before they speak. Simple as that. Or write or tweet.
this is it. Or you know, maybe just don't tweet it. Now, and one solution often is to delete that tweet that has been incriminating.
That's mean.
But you know what they've set up, and this is across the pond in the US, a website called Polytroops.
Polytroops.
Polytweets.
Deleted tweets
And
from politicians.
That's it. And it was this website, Time Newsfeed, that alerted me to this. Now, their comment is that it's the most amusingly intrusive platform for internet transparency since WikiLeaks. It was set up by a non-profit called Sunlight Foundation, working towards greater transparency in politics. And so you've got all these tweets. Look, this one was written by Newt Gingrich. Newt is backstage, ready to take the podium. It was deleted after 7 minutes because they thought, hey, writing about yourself in the third person might be a little bit strange. So that was deleted. And this one was deleted as well. It was written by John McCain about Vladimir Putin. The text might be a bit small there, but Vladimir famously cried.
Read it out.
He famously cried, "Dear Vlad, surprise, surprise, you won. The people of Russia are crying too." Deleted after just 2 minutes of being up on Twitter. But the thing is, right, the interesting thing about this website, Polytroops, is it has basically the idea is they follow certain politicians.
Yeah.
And if a politician deletes a tweet, that tweet then is sent to their software.
I'm surprised at John McCain because clearly he's a person who's stands up, is counted, and has views and expresses them normally. And it doesn't normally shirk from saying what he thinks. And I'm surprised that he's actually deleted that one.
Maybe he thought, hey, 5 more years of dealing with, or however long the presidency is, maybe he just thought, look, maybe that's not a safe bet. Now, some more examples online, and there's lots of examples today of privacy issues or anonymity being infringed. It was on the Gawker website in the US. Now, a woman, she was a school assistant by the name in the town of Des Moines, and in any case, she was sending private emails to her lover from her work email account. While the work email was being searched for another purpose, these emails were come across, and now they've essentially been broadcast across the internet.
Ouch.
She also lost her job as a result. She had to resign because of pressure she was put under. And so it's an example, again, of how you think you're engaging in something relatively private or discreet, but it's at work, and the result is massive public shaming. And indeed, it highlights the issue of using work computers and privacy. I mean, indeed, computers have become an extension of ourselves a lot of the time. People don't look at a computer and think, this is a work tool that I have to treat with respect.
In some countries, you think your emails are private, but your employer has the right to read them. That's the other thing you've got to bear in mind, I suppose, that if you're using a work email address for anything that is other than work, you have to
that
run
you
the
are
risk
liable
that you're
and
being read.
You did sign that contract. But it is an interesting debate, and I suppose she certainly didn't think that those emails would be broadcast across the web. So there you go. A few examples of privacy issues online.
When you use a computer, bear in mind the whole world might be reading.
That's exactly it.
James Creedon, the whole world is watching you, sir.
Well, there you go.
And watches you again
For a few-
online
for a
via our
few of
website,
them.
franzvancat.com.
That's it. Thanks, Mark.
Follow him on Twitter too. He's everywhere. James Creedon is everywhere. You can't get away from him. And that's good. Thank you.
Thanks,
Good
Mark.
man. That was a Media Watch for James Creedon. Stay with us. More news to come. This is Live in Paris. I'm France Vancat.